as I trudged across the windswept sands of this deserted island off the California coast. My metal detector humming in my hands like a faithful companion, I couldn't shake the thrill of what might lie buried beneath. This forgotten speck in the middle of the ocean, once a remote outpost for early mariners, whispered secrets of epic discoveries waiting to be unearthed. The waves crashed relentlessly against jagged rocks, and the isolation amplified every beep from my device, pulling me deeper into the mystery. What treasures had the sea claimed and then relinquished here? My heart raced as the first signal pierced the air, strong and insistent, hinting at something extraordinary just below the surface. I dropped to my knees, shovel in hand, the salty breeze whipping my face, knowing this could be the find of a lifetime. The detector led me to a shallow depression near the high tide line, where I carefully excavated a cluster of tarnished silver coins glinting in the sunlight. These were Spanish pieces of 8 from the 1700s, minted during the height of colonial trade routes across the Pacific. Historically, they fueled the economies of empires, passing through the hands of merchants and pirates alike, symbolizing the vast wealth extracted from the New World. Each coin bore intricate designs of crowns and pillars, reminders of Spain's global dominance, and their value today could reach thousands per piece due to their rarity and preserved condition. As I brushed off the sand, I marveled at how these small discs connected me to centuries of maritime adventure, educating me on the ebb and flow of historical fortunes. Deeper inland, amid overgrown dunes that hid the island's abandoned structures, another alert drew me to a buried artifact, or ornate gold locket encrusted with tiny gemstones. Dating back to the Victorian era, around the 1850s, such lockets were cherished keepsakes carried by settlers and explorers, often containing portraits or locks of hair from loved ones left behind. Their historical significance lies in reflecting the personal stories of migration during the gold rush period, when families braved ocean voyages for opportunity. This one's intricate filigree work suggested it belonged to someone of means, potentially worth a fortune at auction for its craftsmanship and emotional provenance. Holding it, I felt the weight of untold narratives from a bygone age of hope and hardship. Venturing toward the island's craggy cliffs, where erosion had exposed layers of earth, my detector buzzed frantically over what turned out to be a collection of antique porcelain shards from a shipwrecked cargo. These fragments were from fine Chinese export ware of the 18th century, prized for their blue and white patterns depicting mythical scenes, traded along the Manila galleon route that linked Asia to the Americas. Historically, they represented the early globalization of luxury goods, influencing Western tastes and economies. Pieced together, they could form vessels valued highly by museums for illustrating cultural exchanges across oceans. The discovery ignited my curiosity about the vessel that carried them, lost to these treacherous waters long ago. In a secluded cove shielded by weathered boulders, I unearthed a heavy brass astrolabe, its calibrated rings surprisingly intact despite the corrosion. This navigational instrument from the age of exploration, likely 16th century Portuguese in origin, was essential for sailors charting stars to traverse vast seas. Its historical value stems from enabling discoveries like the routes to the Indies, revolutionizing maritime travel and empire building. Rare survivors like this one command premium prices among collectors, often exceeding tens of thousands, due to their role in humanity's quest to map the unknown. As I traced its engravings, I pondered the hands that once relied on it amid stormy nights. Pushing through thick underbrush toward the island's interior, where remnants of old pathways hinted at past human activity, the detector signaled a find buried under roots, a set of silver flatware with elaborate engravings. These utensils hailed from the Federal period in early American history, around 1790 to 1820, crafted by silversmiths like Paul Revere's contemporaries, symbolizing the young nation's emerging craftsmanship and independence. Historically, they adorned tables of affluent households, reflecting social status during the post-revolutionary era. Their monetary worth today lies in their scarcity and association with foundational U.S. artisans, making them sought-after relics. The patina told tales of feasts and fortunes from a formative time, Near a dried-up freshwater spring that must have drawn visitors centuries ago, I dug up a jade figurine of exquisite detail, possibly from ancient trade networks that reached this remote spot via currents. Carved in the style of Mesoamerican influences but adapted through Pacific voyages, it dates to pre-Columbian exchanges around the 1400s, embodying spiritual and artistic expressions of distant cultures. Its historical importance highlights early intercultural contacts before European dominance, educating on the sophistication of artisanal skills. Valued for its material purity and rarity, such pieces fetch high sums in ethical antiquities markets. Examining its smooth contours, I felt linked to artisans long forgotten. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows over the island's mysterious terrain, my device alerted me to something substantial beneath a pile of driftwood, a gilded ceremonial chalice with intricate rapouse work. From the Renaissance revival in the 19th century, it echoed European ecclesiastical designs brought by missionaries or traders, used in rituals that bridged old and new worlds. Historically, chalices like this facilitated cultural and religious diffusions across oceans, marking pivotal moments in colonial expansion. Their value soars due to the fine goldwork and provenance, often prized by historians for insights into faith and artistry. The find deepened my appreciation for the island's role as a silent archive. Exploring a hidden grotto carved by relentless waves, I uncovered a bundle of silk-wrapped documents, preserved remarkably in a sealed tin-old maritime charts from the whaling era of the 1800s. These maps detailed secret routes through Pacific waters, drawn by captains like those from Nantucket, crucial for the industry's boom that powered early American lighting and machinery. Their historical significance lies in revealing navigational strategies that shaped global trade and environmental impacts. Rare originals command impressive values at archival auctions, offering windows into an industrious past. Unrolling them carefully, I traced lines that once guided ships through peril. As the light faded into a golden haze over the deserted island, my detector gave one final, piercing signal stronger and deeper than any before. It came from beneath a massive, half-buried log that storms had long ago deposited high on the shore. I dug with renewed energy, sweat mixing with salt on my skin, until my shovel struck something solid and metallic. There, cradled in the damp earth, lay an ancient Spanish treasure chest, its iron bands rusted but intact, the lid still locked with a heavy padlock from centuries past. My hands trembled as I pried it open to reveal a dazzling hoard. Dozens of gold doubloons minted in the 1600s glittering emeralds, rough cut from Colombian mines, and a single perfectly preserved pearl the size of a grape rumored in old logs to have come from the legendary Manila galleons that once crossed these very waters. This chest represented the pinnacle of colonial wealth, carried across oceans during the height of the Spanish Empire's Pacific trade, a fortune lost to a storm and hidden by time until this moment. Its historical value was staggering, potentially millions in today's market, but more than money. It told the raw story of ambition, peril, and the unforgiving sea that claimed so many dreams. I sat back on the sand, staring at the treasure in disbelief, the weight of history settling over me like the evening tide. This wasn't just a find. It was a bridge to the past, proof that even the most remote corners of the ocean still guard their secrets. Every coin, every gem carried echoes of sailors, merchants, and the relentless drive that shaped entire eras. I felt small against the vastness of it all, yet profoundly connected to those who came before. Thanks so much for joining me on this wild adventure out here on this deserted island in the middle of the ocean. I hope you enjoyed hearing about every beep, every dig, and every incredible piece that came out of the ground. Drop a comment below and let me know which object was your favorite from today's finds. The Spanish coins, the Victorian locket, the astrolabe, the chalice, or maybe this epic chest that changed everything? If you loved this story and want more real detector hunts, epic discoveries, and hidden history, make sure to join the channel right now. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and smash that like on the video. It really helps me keep bringing these adventures to you. Until the next hunt, Stay curious out there.